Hey, yo, LAZ, man, y'all dudes better stop acting like I don't spit them bars, you heard? Dudes better stop acting like I don't spit them bars. Make sure y'all go join my Patreon so y'all could get all those LAZ blazers that y'all forgot about or y'all don't know about. Hey, yo, a lot of y'all dudes keep asking me what up with that Genpop merch. You heard? Well, that Genpop.store is open. Back on deck, you heard?
So now when I'm running around in the street acting crazy, the word is getting around about the dude named Dice or whatever, the almighty shredder. So now Rum pops up on me one day at this party called the last Rump Shaker of the Year in Jackie Robinson. He was like, I heard about you, baby. I heard you moving around like you're supposed to. I think it's about time for you to get a set of fools. That's exactly what he said to me. So I didn't know what he meant. You understand what I'm saying to you? My man Josh said, you know what that nigga told you? I'm like, wait, what the fuck that shit mean? Like you said, what that mean? He just gave you a set, nigga. He wants you to go out and find some niggas that get busy and rep this what's the flavor, boy.
So you was saying that Big Rum really got his name from drinking rum?
From drinking rum and fighting. Rum got his name from Captain Morgan's rum. And because of his will in the street, I remember one time we was on Chauncey and Malcolm X and Jackie Robinson. This had to be like maybe 90 or something like that, because Rick got killed, if I'm not mistaken, June of 87 or 88. I came home the winter of 88 going into 89. You understand what I'm saying to you? So we on Chauncey and Malcolm X one night. Rum out there drinking that rum as usual. Dude walking by. Rum said, yo, what up, baby? You walk like you could fight. So the guy looks at Rum and, actually ignores Rum. Right there on Chauncey, I guess he was coming from towards Fulton, the A train or whatever like that. Rum said, baby, you ain't hear what I was saying to you, baby? He said, well, let me show you what I mean. And he gave my man head. His name is Kenneth Horn, another Decept compadre from Jackie Robinson, Chauncey Street, 94 Chauncey to be exact. He gave Hev the bottle. Rum walked up on the man. The man turned around, act like he was gonna scuffle. 2-piece. Chinese sauce, it's nothing else. Rum said, now see, if you would answer the question, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this wouldn't happen to you. Walked off. Took a swig of his alcohol and looked up and said, that's why they call me Rumble, baby. The great Rum, baby. The great Rum. But if I talk about Rum, I gotta tell you how I got introduced to Rum.
No doubt.
A dude by the name, all right, God bless the dead, Rick. It's 4 brothers. 3 of them, I'm gonna say their names, the other one, they know why his name is not gonna be said. Cyclonus, you know what I'm saying? And then it was God bless the dead, Rum and Rick. And it was Hook too, but it's a story behind that, But I used to be on Utica Avenue when I was a young boy, looking up to certain gangsters. One of them his name was Mandela Wesley. They called him the Almighty Starscream. Now this was Rick's right-hand man. Like sometimes you would think that him and Dello was brothers over his own brothers. So I'm on Utica Avenue, I'm young. Just really getting out of junior high school, going into high school, trying to see who I am. But I'm still soft as a toilet paper and water, I'm still really not sure about who I am, but I know where I come from and I know who my peoples are. So it's in my blood, I just had to find it. Dello come get me one night. He was like, you said you want to run with the fools, right, baby? I was like, what you talking about? I'm sounding like an alternator. You dig what I'm saying? What? He said, yo, I'm taking you to a party, baby. We going to Amboy. We go to a little house party over there. I think it was Picking and Amboy to be exact. Get inside the little basement. I'm scared to death.
So you were shaking
like a stripper. Like a stripper. You could have called me Diamonds from the Players Club. And see, when Dello told me we was going to a party, I'm so naive to the fact, really not understanding what he's saying. He said, yo, we going to a party. I'm thinking we going to a party. No, we was going to a Decept party. And we had a saying, there ain't no party like a Decept party. I'm talking about some of the baddest Decepticons in the world. Robin from Atlantic Towers, the infamous Spanky, that's modeling for the lowlifes right now. Trina, Vanessa Foxworth from Putnam and Franklin, Makia. These is animals, you understand what I'm saying? But they females. So we get to the party or whatever, so it's me and Dello. They set it all up. They did it like they were supposed to. Dello get to the party, introduced me to a couple of dudes now. Mind you, this is the Polo Goose era. I got on a black and blue Polo USA with the cookie on the front. Not with the ski man on the back, with the cookie on the front. I had an exclusive. Like I told you, my mom's worked for Saks Fifth Avenue. So the minute these niggas see my coat, the minute I walk in the party, I wish I could have just did some bewitched shit and wiggled my nose and went back into the crib. You dig what I'm saying? This is what type of animal atmosphere they walk me into. I'm feeling like, I'm telling you, like Russell Crowe in the scene of Gladiators, baby. I don't know what to do. You dig what I'm saying? But it's death or dishonor with me. So you dig what I'm saying? So we walks in and Dello said, yo, there's a couple of people I want you to meet. He said, yo, I'm going to get something to drink. And slid off. When he slid off, the wolves popped up. Dude by the name of Smiley from Brownsville, light skin. Called him Smiley because of his smile. He walked up on me. He said, yo, what up, big man? I said, what's up, my G? He said, yo, I heard you was pussy. My nigga, when he said this shit to me, I think a tip of bowel slid out of my ass. All jokes aside, I was so motherfucking scared. You dig what I'm saying? And then I caught myself and looked at him and said, well, I guess it's only one way to find out. A dude by the name of Villain walked up with Dello. Dude by the name of Ken Walker. The same marks between Utica and Rochester. Bo D. These is all legends. They was like, nah, Dice, we was just trying to see what you was gonna do. So now, I'm really getting introduced to cats, but I'm not really around nobody. I'm around Dello because Dello is who he is. I'm not really around the kings like Rum, you know what I'm saying, and Sai, and Hook, and CBS, you know what I'm saying, and Rambo, God bless the dead. I'm not really around the kings like that. I'm just around, it was like an internship. Like if you ever seen the Sons of Anarchy, I was like one of the niggas that they had like cleaning the cars and all that shit. And I was so infatuated with the life, which was the wrong life, but it was more interesting to me at that particular time. I wanted to be Decept, so a couple of situations where, you know, we walking around the hood and we fighting here and Rum calling certain meetings and telling us we gonna meet up and this what we doing because it was so many Decepticons. Like, I really believe in my heart at one particular time we had more Decepticons than Bloods. I really believe that. We had so many Micromasters, you know what I'm saying, the Rumblecons, mine was the Shotacons. It was like so many branches that were set off. But how I got mines is going to Jackie Robinson. Like I said, the great three, his name was Pop. He had a brother by the name of Kenneth Horn. Three name was Eric Horn. God bless his soul. And I don't know if you remember the Fight the Power video in 91 when Flavor Flav and Chuck D was in the style. We was in that video. My man 3 was on my hood. Because the only reason why we was in the video so early is because 3 came home that morning. And when 3 came home, they started coming outside with the cameras and stuff like that because the video was filmed on Malcolm X. And if you notice at the middle of the video when he's like on the chorus part when they screaming fight the power, if you look, that's me with the flat top and my man 3 on my head on Chauncey holding his hand up. So cool, I'm starting to go to Jackie Robinson now. You know, I'm from Utica Avenue, but now that was a no-no back in the days. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like crossing Atlantic Avenue. When it turns from Utica Avenue to Malcolm X, see, the dimension of that was totally different because people fail to realize just coming across Utica Avenue, you had to pass Smurf Village. And for some reason, because this was like a new housing complex, people thought that they was soft or something in there. Nah, my dude, it was dudes like Makila, Ungus, God bless the dead, Wild Pork. I'm talking about dudes that came up with straight up savagery in their life and didn't even know anything but savagery. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I started hanging out because of Boys and Girls High School. So now I'm in Jackie Robinson. You know, I'm still a little scared, but every step of the way, I'm developing a little more reassurance in who I am because of the, you know what I'm saying, because of the impression I'm making on these gangsters. You dig what I'm saying? I'm talking about dudes that's running around with, this is the box cutter, no, not the box cutter, excuse me. This was the push razor era. The skinny and the thick orange razors with the blades that used to pop off. We used to break them to the end where they was really tiny. Yeah, this that era. And the ball part is it was razors, guns, Rambo knives. I know you remember that. With the big compasses on the back. It wasn't really too many pistols. It was a few pistols. And honestly, I had a couple of guns. Rum had a 4.4 Magnum that was about the size of a 2-year-old child. And he always had that thing with him. But it really, back then when we was doing it, it was a bunch of like confused kids. Well, back to what I was saying. So now that I'm running around, I'm hanging out with dudes like Ja, Jermaine McCullum, which turned into be my Crimson Twin. Like back in the days, it was the Crimson Twin on G.I. Joe. So we was so renegade, we switched our names up. Like I told you, I was Decept, and my name was the Almighty Shredder. And my man Ja name was Ja, so we was just called the Crimson Twins because we was actually inseparable. We went up to John Jay High School one day because my man Ja was having a little problem with a dude by the name of Ambush. He was from Madison and Malcolm X. But we couldn't never catch him in the hood. So you know what? We thinking we tough. We go up to John Jay back in the days, about maybe 23, 24 deep. There used to be a older lady out there that was like a security guard or something like that, and people was terrified of her because it was a bagel spot right across the street from John Jay. And we wound up running out of the Benetton store because it was a Benetton store down the block. And since it was so many of us, and there was only one security guard up in there, we smashed him. That was that low life shit that passed through us, some of our friends or whatever. But my man Ja went up there to fight the dude named Ambush. He had a little team with him. And when he was fighting Ja, he was a little more bigger than Ja, a little more huskier. And I understood that my man couldn't really deal with him the way he wanted to because of his asthma. First of all, he had a breathing like with his asthma. So when I looked at him, I said, my turn. So I wound up beating him out there. I wound up beating the dude Ambush out there. That gave me a little recognition. I never forget. We riding home on the train, and my mans and them don't know it, but they bigging me up talking about, yo, son, we ain't even know you get down like that. I ain't even know I get down like that, Laz. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I'm swinging at this nigga like I see him swinging on my mother. That's how I tried to hurt him. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Son, he was Decept too, though?
Yes, sir. Just like the blood situations now. It's like, yeah, don't get it twisted. We was all Decept, but we did not all get along. And that's like the structures with blood. It wasn't because we didn't get along because it was actual disrespects or injustices did to each other, just envy and ego, and people was closer to certain people, so I don't like them. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it was a dude by the name of Big from Chauncey, from Jackie Robinson Projects. His real name is Nathaniel Robinson, and that was his quote. He said, my name is Nathaniel Robinson, baby. I got the name of a warrior. We sitting out one night because I guess he was tired of the fact that I'm in Jackie Robinson now every weekend. I'm dating one of the loudest bitches in Jackie Robinson. God bless her soul. I'm going to say her name, Kimberly Christine Watson. She died in 1991. She had a seizure in her sleep. I mean, this was my baby. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is the Guess Jean era. She running around with my Guess jeans on, my jackets and all that. So when niggas start seeing me waking up early in the morning in the projects, they're like, what you doing in the projects? I'm like, I'm with Kim. So maybe that made my man Big a little upset because Kim used to tell me, God bless her soul, how he was a little interested in us. So we sitting out one night, we drinking Old English, St.laz, 151 Bacardi. We are just disrespecting our body. We drinking Wild Irish Rose, anything that somebody brought to the table, we're just drinking. My man Big walks up on me. He said, what up, baby? I said, what up, Big? Punched me dead in my mouth for no reason. So we start fighting. We scrapping and all that. We wrinkling each other's school clothes. And then my man John then broke it up, and Big said, yo, I just wanted to see if you really was gonna fight, baby. Mind you, yet he just got out the hospital from 2 weeks because right across the street in Stuyvesant Park from Boys and Girls High School, he ran up on a West Indian dude. Now, you know how the West Dreads was back in the days. They looked soft, but they always had a pistol. He ran up on a West Indian dude and tried to get him to take off he had like a sheepskin flight jacket, like one of the sheepskin flight Sherlins with the brown. Big tell him to take the coat off. The little nigga pulls out a .32 revolver and shoot him in his face. He had the Bobby Brown brace on his face for about maybe 7-8 months, but he was a warrior. He was a cold-blooded warrior. Said right after him getting them braces off his mouth, he fought me. Now, disregarding to the fact if I'd have got the right hit to that jaw, it was broke again, but that's how much of a warrior he was. So now that I'm coming up in Jackie Robinson, I done fought Big. I done knocked out Ambush. You know what I'm saying? Every time niggas call us to move, I'm there. My name starts circulating. So it gets back to Dello. Now, Dello thinking, my man Dello actually took me to the Decept party to discourage me from becoming Decept because he knew who I came from. My mother worked for Saks Fifth Avenue. She was the buyer for all of the petites for Saks Fifth Avenue. She didn't work in the department store. My mother worked across the street in a platinum building. You know what I'm saying? Not the department store where everybody runs through. No, it's a Saks Fifth Avenue corporate building right directly across the street from Saks Fifth Avenue, the department store. Cool. My mom's worked there. My father worked in the Veterans Administration. My grandmother and grandfather both retired from Kings County Hospital. My uncle Ice Water from Utica Avenue sold heroin, got money, fell, slipped, got back on. But you know, I really came from a structured life, but I was the only child. And I guess that's what came with the extremities of my life because, you know, my father wasn't around. But God bless the dead, a man by the name of Ronald Young got with my mom's. Unfortunately, caught a body Did 11 years, came home and stayed with my mom since she passed away, August 17, 2002. So now when I'm running around in the street acting crazy, the word is getting around about the dude named Dice or whatever, the almighty shredder. So now rum pops up on me one day at this party called the last rump shaker of the year. And Jackie Robinson. He was like, I heard about you, baby. I heard you moving around like you're supposed to. I think it's about time for you to get a set of fools. That's exactly what he said to me. So I didn't know what he meant. You understand what I'm saying to you? My man Josh said, you know what that nigga told you? I'm like, wait, what the fuck that shit mean? Like he said, what that mean? He just gave you a set, nigga. He wants you to go out and find some niggas that get busy and rep this what's the flavor, boy. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And I didn't understand why he did it at that time, but look how God worked. We all got kicked out of school. I was going to Boys and Girls High School. Rum was going to Prenton, aka Cybertron. I remember the story you did on that. That was fire too. We wound up going to an alternative school on Fulton called Vanguard. It was on Fulton between Kingston and Troop. It was an alternative school, like all the bad kids went there. So now me and Rum bump into each other. It was like literally, they wanted us to learn computers, simple shit like that, vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? But listen to this, look how smooth the world is. It was a woman by the name of Demetria Regan. Matter of fact, that's where I went to school. That's how I met the Notorious B.I.G. I knew Christopher Wallace, not the super rapper, but I remember, quote unquote, the day he left Vanguard, he told Miss McVeigh, our principal name was McVeigh. Big used to come to school with the sweaters past his wrist because there wasn't no such thing as big and tall back in the days. So big sweaters used to come past his wrist, and his champion sweaters used to come past his stomach because he was kind of big. The only thing that really fitted right on Big was the Levi's and the black chuckers. I never forget it. He stood up one day because he stopped coming to school, like on a regular, and it was real important about the attendance. And Miss McVeigh said, well, you know what? If you miss one more day, there's no need for you to come back. Big stood up and said, I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. I'm about to be the biggest rapper in the world. 3 weeks later, Parties and Bullshit was on the radio. That's another story we can get into.
That's crazy.
So cool. I had a barbershop. Like I told you, matter of fact, I had two barbershops. Like I told you, from Isaac Tillman. I had a barbershop on Utica Avenue between Park and Prospect, and then I also had a barbershop on Utica between Sterling and Park Place, but it was closer to Sterling. Matter of fact, I don't know if you remember about the restaurants called Iana's. Best cheeseburger in the world. Well, I had the juice bar 20 years ago. I had the juice bar 20 years ago out there. The 50s of chocolate. You dig what I'm saying? The 70s of the real skunk. Like, this is back in the day. So the niggas doing the 3-5s now and all that, I really respect their movement, but we was doing that 20 years ago. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I feel so bad right now because when I opened the juice bar, I didn't really understand how much it was gonna pop off. I wasn't thinking about the actual juicing that we had to go to class for, that we had to pass to get. Everything that we learned, I disregarded that. I was trying to get that trap. You understand what I'm saying to you? So like I said, before I really got some sense, we running around, I'm robbing, stealing, doing the foolishness. Don't ask me why. I don't even know why. It was a time, tell you the truth, I just wanted to go to jail because I was going through so much in my home. You know what I'm saying? My father was smoking crack. My mom's going to work every day. You dig what I'm saying? She working 2 jobs. She working at Saks Fifth Avenue. Excuse me, my mother worked 3 jobs. She's working at Saks Fifth Avenue. She was working at White Castle on Utica Empire 4 times a week. And on Saturday, my mother was doing insurance for Prime America. This is way before the computers and the cell phones. So this is actual getting up, getting on the LIRR, going to Long Island for 8:30 in the morning. That's where I get my hustle and my drive from. So when Rum decided to, quote unquote, give me a team of my own, it's like we developed a different relationship by that. And then when he bumped into me at Vanguard, we developed a different relationship too, because like I said, it was a teacher by the name of, she from 68 Cumberland. She from Fort Greene. Make a long story short, we were both interested in. So the only class that I really paid attention was in Miss class because it was a typing class. So this is what I did. I typed her a letter and told her how I felt about her. On some real G shit. Could have got kicked out of school. Nothing disrespectful, just opened my heart to her. The next day she responded with a letter and said, if you were a little older, this might be yours. Doo-doo head. Why did she do that? I gave her my number. She called me. It was a club on Atlantic in Brooklyn called Phi Data. We went to Phi Data. The next morning I woke up in Fort Greene. It was a wrap. So now I'm in a alternative school sleeping with my taping teacher, bro. I'm 17 years old. So that actually took my level of respect to a different level with Rum, because he was like, yo, I've been trying to holler at this lady for a minute, baby. What you doing at the crib, Dice? I said, only God knows, you know? So after we both left Vanguard, we still run around the street. I still got my fools. Matter of fact, I brought home a dude by the name of Leonardo Harris from 180 Albany Projects. They call him LA. I brought a dude by the name of Jermaine Howard Roback. We called him Quicksand. My little dude Wink and Flame from Gates and Nostrand. I brought them home. My little man Lightspeed, Kareem Davenport from Lewis Avenue, I brought him home. My man Christ the King, I brought him home. We was only like about maybe 8 strong, but our presence was thousands. Like I take 3 strong lions before I walk with 15,000 sheep. It just will never match up. So now my uncle, like I told you, unfortunately he fell to the game. The heroin started tearing him up. And I had to bury my mother. So now I done put my moms down on the ground, and I'm going through a different path in my life. And then Rum walks up on me one day and says, yo, baby, why you didn't tell me Ice Water was your uncle, baby? I'm like, Rum, how you know my uncle? He was like, yo, he used to mess with my aunt. So now, besides the fact that we was Decepticon Padres, besides the fact that he know I got down in the street, he actually showed me that he had a concern for me genuinely, because he spoke up about my uncle. And what he said to me was, he was like, yo, man, I know you kind of upset with him about him fucking up, but he trying to get straight, man. He said he trying to get it right. He said, your grandmother gone, your mother gone, he ain't got nobody. So about maybe a week or 2 later, I'm on St. John's in Utica. I hear my uncle calling me. He used to call me Duty Pickers. I don't know why, but he used to be like, yo, Duty Picker, come here. He was with a dude named Kerry from Sterling in Utica. They used to run Seville Car Wash on Utica Avenue going towards Kings Plaza. And he was like, yo, Duty, I'm sick. See, that heroin game is totally different than that crack and coke game. That heroin, like my uncle said, would just tear up his whole body, and it seemed like it was eating up his bones and everything. And he looked at me and said, yo, Duty, I'm sick, man. I just need some money, man. I reached in my wallet and gave my uncle a $100 bill, and I said, yo, check this out. Until you find who I admired growing up, I just appreciate it if you stay away from me, man. Because I'm not going to have the same stress on my heart that you put on my mother. About maybe 3 days later, my uncle pulls up, walks up on Utica Avenue. I just bought the 2004 LS Coach Edition, not the regular Lex, the LS Coach Edition. He walked up. He said, "Yo, I need you to do me a favor." He said, "I want you to buy me a television." He said, "I want you to buy me a TV." And I said, "Buy your TV for what? To sell it?" And he was like, "Nah, Duty, I promise you." He said, "On Sharon, that's my mother's name." He said, "They got a bed for me, and if I'm not there by 5:30, they won't let me in." So I thought it was a con. So who comes around the corner? Rum said, "Come on, baby. Your uncle said he need a TV. He ain't lying." I said, "Rum, what you talking about?" He said, "Yo, listen to me, man. Your uncle is trying to get into this program. It was on Gates and Nostrand. It's called Ready, Willing, and Able." So I'm thinking Rum just, you know what I'm saying, trying to battery pack my uncle because he done pulled the con on him. My uncle named Ice Water. This nigga talk water out of the ocean. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I told Rum, I said, "This is what we gonna do. I'm gonna show you your man is a fraud. We go on the Nostrand and Gates, and I'm gonna show you, quote unquote, how this man is lying to us both." We get the Nostrand and Gate. My uncle jump out the car like he's seen the police. He's like, "Come on." We go inside. We get to the front of the table. A gentleman in there that used to get hired that ran a part of the administrative. He said, "Yo, tell my nephew what y'all told me." He said, "Yo, if he isn't in here by 5:30, he won't have a bed." I said, "Is this straight up?" Like straight up. He was like, "Nah, man." He said, "Just as real. He coming in." So I took my uncle to this. I don't know if you remember the spot called the Wiz.
Yeah, I remember the Wiz.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to the one across the street from Kings Plaza. I went to the one on Rockaway Parkway in Canarsie. Because it was a little junction area over there, it was like a little flatbush area, like a bunch of the pizza shop, the bus and all that. Well, I got him a TV and I actually got him a DVD player. Not the whole, all this shit did was play, stop, open, eject. You dig what I'm saying? So me, Rum, my uncle, we go to Ready, Willing, and Able. We let my uncle out. And by the praises of Allah, my uncle been clean now for 19 years, about to retire from Kings County Hospital. LaVon McLeod, they call him Ice Water. Rum rode with me on the way back to Utica Avenue. And Rum, let me tell you something about Rum. Like, I was so intimidated by Rum because of the stories that I had heard. You dig what I'm saying? Because Rum played. But Rum was one of the most loyal, sincere, humble human beings I've ever met in my life. And actually, if it wasn't for Rum, I'm not saying I wouldn't have grown into who I am or matured to who I am, but Rum is like the one that kind of kick-started that. He was the first one that threw the pit into the ring. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, he saw something in me that I really didn't see in myself. And I never forget this. He was like, come on, baby, you too big to be bowing your head when you walk in rooms, man. And I never forget that. So, unfortunately, right before July in New York, my man Barrage called me. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you Barage's number. He can give you more and more intricate details because that was like his brother. You understand what I'm saying to you? And all I know is from what I hear that unfortunately some cats that was getting at his niece and them, you know what I'm saying, he happened to bump into them going to the liquor store because that was Rum. He was going to get that liquor store in Bushwick, and unfortunately I don't know if it was because of, you know, the exchange of eyes or maybe some silly words shit. Rum wasn't like that. Rum his presence commanded respect. Not because of a fearful, but because of his character, the way Rum stood, the way he wore his clothes, the way he cut his hair, the way he smiled. When I mean he was my friend, and his mannerisms, tell you the truth, it's him and a couple of other cats that their mannerisms, tell you the truth, came through me and I embellished them. So it's like it's a bunch of gangsters alive and dead that I was around, and I absorbed all that knowledge that they gave me. You dig what I'm saying? Like Mustafa, you know what I'm saying, and the great Johnny Greenleys and the great Tuckers. Like times when I even wrote myself off, these gangsters wrote me on. Like, you come from quality, you just going through something right now, but one day you're gonna lead hundreds. You understand what I'm saying to you? But the gang life, I can't really say that it's right or wrong, because if you're coming from a situation where who birthed you doesn't have the nurturing or the common concern to really attend to you. Remember, we came up in that crack era, Laz. You dig what I'm saying? When that shit hit. And by the grace of God, my mother never, ever dealt any debt with any drugs. My grandmother and grandfather never. It's just my father and my uncle. See, it's going to stab somebody in your family, the ones you least expect. But that's just life, because half told me, God bless the dead. God, I ain't never met a stomach that waited for some food. If a nigga hungry, he hungry. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't have the comprehension or the mindset or the tools to do simple things like fill out a job application. You know what I'm saying? How to conduct ourselves in an interview. How to speak eloquently and articulately. Because I'm the goon of goons, but my grandmother and my mother did one thing that I'm always love them for. Every birthday, every Christmas, I got a quote-unquote dictionary. And I asked my mom, why you keep buying me these dumb-ass dictionaries? I ain't say it like that, but that's how I felt. Like, you could have got me some ColecoVision toys or something doodle head. Got this thick-ass dictionary. My mom said, there's 186 dictionaries in the world. And I'm tired of you asking me questions. So from now on, if you look these questions up now, in the future, you won't have to ask nobody else nothing. Like, I'd be asking my mother, yo, what does this mean? Or what is that? She said, what did I give you them dictionaries for? You know what I'm saying? Like, our era was so dangerous because, like I said, I'm from 17 Utica Avenue, and I think I was like the only black family that actually owned our property. So me going into the street would, say the truth, just pain and hurt, you know what I'm saying, and foolishness. And like I said, when I got around the fools, it seemed like when they walked in, like when we walked in, like everybody say, yo, that's Decep. Now all that foolishness that they said on television, it was some fools that did a interview with Walter Cronkite on CBS. That nigga wasn't Decep. He was somebody that loved the movement and was talking it, but he ain't never come home. That's just, we got blamed for a lot of stuff that really had nothing to do with us. You know what I'm saying? That's just like blood. That's just like Crip. There's certain niggas that's blood, there's certain niggas that's Crip, that's right, and then there's certain niggas that's just wrong. We didn't never do the, like, our thing was different. You couldn't beat Decep unless you couldn't fight. If you couldn't fight, there was no need for you to be Decep. Fuck all that you my homeboy shit, you getting down, like, nah. You was tested. You dig what I'm saying? But the new thing of beating up niggas and up, nah. I'm from a different era, man. I'm really from a different era. But Rumble, the God Rum, the Great Steve, one of them French boys, like they say. Like I said, if it wasn't for him, I think it was a time where I admired him more than my father. Like all jokes aside, I was terrified of him before I met him. Before I met Rumble, I was literally terrified of him. And met him, he turned out to be one of the nicest dudes in the world, man. Nothing soft about him. Nothing was never soft about him. And people say when Rum drunk, they don't want to be around him. No, when Rum drunk, he get a little compassionate. He cried about dudes that was killed. He cried about certain things that went on in his life, but what man doesn't? What man doesn't? And unfortunately, at his demise, he just got the little modeling career. Like they was just about to give my man the deal for the modeling, man. But to all them cats out there that want to do that gang thing, man, I'm not knocking you for who or what you think you should do, but just make sure you understand what you're doing. Because once you step over that line, you can't come back. And everybody doesn't have the same morals, integrity, loyalty, or principles in their heart. And just because you're somebody's friend, that don't mean they're yours. My grandmother always told me that. Always. Always. She said, I keep praying. She said, you think they're your friends. She said, if they really were your friends, they wouldn't be at our house screaming 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for you to come outside and possibly go outside and die. If they really was your friends, they'd be more concerned with the fact of how we would feel if you went to jail again. If you were killed and we could never touch you or speak to you again. That's what friends care about. Friends don't bring you the problems. Friends keep problems away from you. And real friends keep themselves in certain mannerisms where problems don't occur. Especially being God. We're the most peaceful creatures on the earth. And we believe in discipline, but we believe in discipline in private. And we believe in discipline from the truth in the heart. But if tested, we will defend ourselves to death. And that's a fact. But to the all rewrites and all the real decepts, because everybody really know what the flavor is, and it's always going to be that. This is Big Dice, baby. The ghost of Utica Ave, a.k.a. Shredder 2 Gun. And stay away from suckers. Because lollipops ain't never been in my criteria. You dig what I'm saying?